Benjamin Reid, Rabble Red, Mono Black Devotion. We'll see if the Chiefs fan can pull the upset here or if Graves will continue his undefeated run. And we start off our semifinals with a Foundry Street Denizen, a card you are intimately familiar with.
Oh, yeah. A hard-working fellow.
Well, there's a Burning Tree Emissary. There's a trigger, and now it's an attack for 3.
So only 2 copies of BioBlade in Reid's list. If he has it, he's in great shape, and if not, he's in trouble. Sometimes the game's determined that early.
Looks like it might be a Devour Flesh here. It's going to just be a Pack Rat. That Pack Rat might be on blocking duty if Graves lets it. A draw of Stoke the Flames here. You see his hand. Couple of mountains, a lightning strike to get that out of the way. Here's an attack for 4. Reid's going to go down to 13. The only spell that Graves has left is a Stoke the Flames. So again, he is hoping that Reid does not draw a copy of BioBlade.
For sure, and there is an argument there that Graves could just attack as the first order of business. Maybe Reid trades with the Foundry Street Denizen, and then you care a little bit less about BioBlade. But if he didn't have it on turn 2, he doesn't have it in his hand, period. He would have cast that over Pack Rat. So you're only really playing around the 2 BioBlades at this point, and it's worth the risk on Graves' side.
Rakdos Cackler has been unleashed, which means Foundry Denizen is going to get a little bit bigger. It's an attack for 6. Reid goes down to 7. There's land number 4. This is a Desecration Demon. But Graves does not care about that one all that much. He will quickly untap. He will draw a card. It's a mountain. Sacrifice there. Attack for 5 here. Stoke the Flames upstairs. And we're going on to game number 2, just like that, my friends. It does not take long for Rabble Red to get the job done against anybody.
You can't keep hands with no removal spells. I mean, Pack Rat is not a live card in the matchup. It's too slow. And if you're doing a Pack Rat on turn 2 and then nothing on turn 3, you're not getting to turn 5, and that's what we just saw.
2 spells played for Benjamin Reid, 1 game lost. Tommy Graves does win game number 1 here over Mono Black Devotion with Rabble Red. We're coming back to the booth. It's trivia time. You guys know the drill. 6 months. He's got your question. With your answer, hashtag SCG Premium. Make sure you're following at SCG Live, and we will announce the winner at the conclusion of our semifinal round. And as always, all contests and giveaways here on SCG Live with the sole discretion of Star City Games. Twitch.tv is no way affiliated with our contests and giveaways, but we do thank them for letting us broadcast on their fantastic network.
So a source of debate amongst Mono Black Devotion enthusiasts is assuming you're not splashing, how many temples are you supposed to play in the list? Okay. We saw Joe Bernal yesterday go all the way up to 8. I would say, 2, 3, 4 are conventional. How many copies are in Benjamin Reid's Mono Black Devotion list?
And if you can name the number of temples that Mr. Reid is playing, hashtag the answer with the hashtag of SCG Premium. Make sure you're following at SCG Live, when we will announce the winner of our 6-month giveaway at the conclusion of our semifinal round. It's time to take a look at the sideboards here, because Benjamin Reid, he lost very, very quickly. And as you'll see here, he doesn't have a ton of hate for the matchup. He's doing okay with 4 Life Bane Zombies, a BioBlade, 3 Doom Blades, 1 Ultimate Price, 1 Erebos God of the Dead, a Liliana Vest, and the very powerful Drown in Sorrow, but you're not going to find any Freakus Cures here.
Yeah, there are 6 solid sideboard cards to bring in here. The Drown in Sorrow, the Ultimate Price, the BioBlade, the 3 Doom Blades. That's 6 cards. The cards that need to be taken out as the first order of business here, in my opinion, are Underworld Connections first and then Thoughtseize second. So I believe we're going to see Reid cut 4 copies of Underworld Connections and 2 copies of Thoughtseize, though Underworld Connections versus Thoughtseize is a source of debate in this matchup. For my money, I think that Thoughtseize can still be good on the first turn of the game against red beatdown lists, whereas Underworld Connections is almost always uncastable in games that are close. You can only cast it when you're already way ahead. But I know some people think that Thoughtseize is so bad that they just cut that as the first order of business. So we'll see what Reid wants to do. If I were in his seat, I would be cutting 4 copies of Underworld Connections and 2 copies of Thoughtseize.
For Graves, 2 Boros Reckoner, Dynacharge, 3 Eidolon of the Great Revel, Harnessed by Force, 3 Magma Spray, 2 Museum Mortars, a Mutavault, and 2 copies of Skullcrack. Love the Eidolons here.
Eidolon is great in this matchup. He wants more creatures anyway, and it's definitely going to cost Benjamin 2 life to get off the table because he has to use some sort of removal spell on it. Besides that, there's a couple marginal options. I don't like Skullcrack in the matchup, though people bring it in. I think the 1 Mutavault and the 1 Harnessed by Force could also come in this matchup. We shall see. I don't like bringing in more spells against Mono Black Devotion because you have to weather the storm with all their removal. So if you're going to bring in any sort of spell, it needs to be an A+. And the spells like Skullcrack and Harnessed by Force, which can be good sometimes, but are also not good plenty of the time, I don't think are acceptable to bring in. But we will see.
When we do have an update on our Peter Tragos versus Caleb Williams match, we will certainly let you know. And we just did get one. Caleb Williams does win game number 1, so we're on a crash course of good friends playing in the finals here. We'll see if Tragos or Reid can break that up. As you do see, they are sideboarding here, are Reid and Graves. Reid didn't get to play a lot of Magic that last game. We'll see if he gets to play more.
He got to cast some stuff.
2 whole spells. In theory, you are correct. I cannot argue with you.
And it wouldn't have really mattered if he had something to cast on turn 3.
Yeah, I just got beaten down.
If he had a Hero's Downfall instead of nothing on turn 3, he's still probably dead on the 5th turn.
Yeah, probably. The Stoke the Flames wraps
Maybe
things up.
maybe it's the 6th turn,
Sure.
or, you know what I mean? But
Rebel Red looking very, very impressive right now. I think the thing that we've learned here about this deck is that it takes more cards than you think to beat it. You can't really skimp.
it's not just about. I've had the same epiphany about a variety of standard decks. Green-white aggro is one where I had that conclusion too. At first I thought the deck was pretty gimmicky, and if you just had a healthy number of Doom Blades, you'd be fine. That's not the case. You need to have a lot of specific cards to have a solid matchup there, and Rabble Red is no different.
Yeah, no messing around. You got to have real stuff to beat this deck. It's not the best looking deck on paper, but it certainly gets the job done.
I'm so jealous of watching Rabble Red in action, because I played so many decks similar to this 6 months ago that had no copies of Goblin Rabble Master, of course, because it hadn't been printed yet.
Yeah.
And when I watched that card in action, I'm like, man, this is like playing in easy mode,
Yeah.
you know?
That plus and Stoke.
Yeah, that and Stoke. Oh, you mean that I get to cut Shock and Chainwalker for Rabble Master and Stoke?
You do.
Oh, okay.
You do. Life probably gets a little easier when
A
you have
little
those
bit
cards.
easier, yeah.
Yeah, Rebel Master is not messing around.
No.
Neither is Stoke the Flames. Big upgrades for this red deck. That's why it's been having so much success recently. Really, really nice upgrades from M15.
He even got to cut a Foundry Street Denizen. Can you believe that?
It sounds like you can't.
I would have played 6 or 7 of those things if it was legal. He's down to 3. He cut one of them.
Don't need all 4. 4 Legion Loyalists doing battle here. That card is a delight in this deck.
Yeah.
You will need to sign that waiver.
We do have our Legacy Open Players meeting taking place right now. 270 players doing battle, so we will have 9 rounds of action.
A full day.
Yes, sir. See if both players do keep their hand. It looks like they will, and Reid will begin with a Swamp. Graves will draw a card. Picked up a Mutavault. He does have a 1-drop. It's a Legion Loyalist. Reid down to 19.
We don't want your lands to be turned off by a flood moon.
Reid with a Swamp. This is a pack rat again. Graves will draw a card. It's a mountain. Starting to flood out maybe a touch. Here's an attempt at a trade, but pack rat has no interest. There's a Burning Tree Emissary and just pass the turn back. Not an exciting turn.
There is some hope in this game for Benjamin here.
I would say there's a lot of hope given that Graves' hand is 5 lands.
Oh, well,
It is
then
2,
yes.
It is 2 Mutavaults and 3 mountains. There's a Rebel Belt Maka. That'll certainly help.
Virginia.
Here's an attack.
Richmond, Virginia. James Kerr.
Looks like the Nightfell Spectre is going to put Graves to the test. Fortunately for Graves, he drew Rebel Belt Maka on this turn, so he gets through.
So if Reid was interested in blocking with the Nightveil Spectre, I'm interested as why he didn't just make a rat.
That's fair. No?
The Nightveil Spectre only makes sense if he has an intent on not blocking, he wants to attack and start Nightveil.
Sure. There's Desecration Demon. Graves
Now-
will quickly untap.
Now Graves is in very serious trouble.
It's not looking good.
This is just too early in the game to be facing down a Desecration Demon.
And they will be happy to assist you. Should you disagree,
I think on this turn, Graves probably just has to attack with his Burning Tree Emissary.
you have the right to an appeal. Those appeals will come to me, and my
Yeah.
ruling should
Well,
be
I think that an option that Reid does, Graves rather has in this spot is to just stoke the pack rat and say go and just wait.
Just try to beat the demon.
Yeah. He doesn't have to start attacking. He has 2 Mutavaults, so he has some flexibility.
Okay.
and make sure that anything
But I think that if you trade your Burning Tree Emissary and your stoke here for the demon, you still lose the pack rat. So I think if I'm in Graves' seat, I'd probably just kill the pack rat and then just hope to win the waiting game. It's,
Try to
it's
outdraw him.
really bad. It's really bad, but I think the alternate line is doomed, basically.
I do think that it is rather likely that he would lose to pack rat.
You know, if Reid has any Doomblade style effect for your Legion Loyalist at that point, you have no hope of catching up.
And Graves is going to get a lot of thought. Number 1 overall seed, has not lost a match this weekend.
It's a very tough turn, and this determines the game and Graves' course for it. But
you know, the one thing he's trying to do here is feign some strength. Like, he's got a lot of decisions to make and has a great hand. And he certainly has a decision to make with Stoke the Flames and how to use it. But the other cards in his hand are mountains. Looks like he's going to activate this. Activate here, sacrifice there, come into the red zone. So he's getting aggressive. Battalion there on the Legion Loyalist. So an attack for 5 is going to put Reid down to 12, assuming no blocks. So that's exactly what will happen. And back to Reid we go. Can Graves beat the pack rat?
Nick Lore, you in the room?
I think that I would like this line of play out of Graves more if Reid didn't have a Mutavault, and now a second Mutavault.
You're seated at table 77.
Desecration Demon, no interest in attacking. It's going to play some defense. Fire Drink Crusaders to draw.
John Patchett.
So here's that.
Patchett, are you in the room?
So is the problem that I have with this line of play as Graves going to pass back is exactly this.
Yeah.
He got to do his thing last turn, but he has to pass back this turn.
Peter Trogos.
And so you're not doing a great job there.
Peter. Right. Caleb
Yeah,
Williams.
I felt this was kind of an incongruous line of play here.
Yeah. Because now Desecration Demon can actually start attacking. It's going to be hits at 7 at a time. And now Reid just has the ability to just make rats.
All right, guys.
Just go from there. Soak the Flames looks like it's going to go upstairs.
All right,
So now
guys,
it might take running 4 damage burn spells to get the job done.
And that is possible. I mean, there's 4 Stokes in this list.
Fire Drink Crusader to the draw.
About what you are doing to your opponent. Announce all life total changes.
But now he's in a position where nothing else can really attack here. The Mutavaults plus the rats are going to be able to cover all of Graves' attacks for the rest of the game.
Let's have fun. And your pairings for round 1 will be up.
And I think that's the big trick here, the big issue.
Thanks.
See what Graves can figure out on his turn. He's in some serious trouble now.
Yeah. Now, if Reid does not have a removal spell, there is still some hope for Graves here because the pack rat tokens can't block. Legion Loyalist covers that. There are still 2 Mutavaults and the initial pack rat, so there's not a good attack to be made just yet. But Reid generating additional rat tokens doesn't necessarily help him block because Legion Loyalist has that covered for the time being. But if Reid finds any sort of Doomblade effect, then you're looking at running Stoke the Flames. And Graves doesn't really have that much time because these rats are going to get lethal very quickly.
They don't take time at all to get the job done. Mutavault's going to get fired up here. Going to come into the red zone. Reid is going to make a rat. Of course, these rat tokens cannot block due to Legion Loyalist. Looks like it may be an activation here of Mutavault. He's just going to go pump. And the problem here is that he thinks he can block with the rat tokens, but he cannot. So a huge break here for Graves.
I don't even know how big of a break this will end up being when it's all said and done. I mean, 5 damage is being dealt to this Fire Drink Crusader.
That's true.
So now, I mean, if Reid just goes untap, attack you with everything, Graves might just die on the way back. So even though it's a misstep, I don't even know if it matters very much here.
Yeah, fire up the 2 Mutavaults, get in with everybody. And he definitely has to sacrifice something to the Desecration Demon.
The rats are all 5/5s.
Yeah, right now 3/3s with the ability to become 5/5s.
Right, I think that I'm pretty sure that Graves just dies on the attack here.
Yeah, because the other thing too is, the Fire Drink Crusader can't block for obvious reasons.
Correct.
So it's on Benjamin Reid to make the right play this turn. He saw a bit of a hiccup the last turn, thinking he could block with those tokens. Legion Loyalist won't allow it.
It may have been a hiccup, but it's arguably better this way. I don't know if he kills him on the way back, playing it the other way.
Sure.
I guess as long as he always commits the rat to the Fire Drink Crusader, he's going to end up in this kind of spot.
See him going through the iterations right now. So he does shuffle those cards back and forth through his hand. Nineville Spectre, Bile Blight. The trick here is that none of the cards in hand really matter all that much for Reid. That's what he's got on the board. He's going to play a Bile Blight to get the Burning Emissary off the table. Going to sacrifice the Mutavault here. And going to activate the two Mutavaults coming into the red zone. That is going to do it. So Benjamin Reid's going to win game number 2 here over Thomas Graves. And the third game is where we are headed in just a moment.
A little land heavy there. I don't think that might have been the first time in the match that Reid has cast a removal spell, which is pretty surprising.
Yes, actually it is. He didn't even need to.
He did not.
Yeah.
Which is very rare, though. Graves' hand was very land heavy that time.
Yep. He did draw a lot of lands, 2 of which were Mutavaults, and that's obviously a great tool in the matchup, but a lot of lands there for him that game. But that'll happen. That's why they give you 3. On the other side of the match, Caleb Williams against Peter Tragos. Again, Williams is up a game, red-white burn versus black-white mid-range. If we have time to jump over there, we certainly will. I got a feeling that we'll have the chance to, but we will see. See both players going back to the drawing board here. Not sure how much changes here for either player, honestly.
Well, the difference in the matchup from the Rebel Red side, in my opinion, is that Harness by Force is a lot more appealing on the play than on the draw. But I don't know if that much changes. That's the only card that really swings in value in my mind from play versus draw.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
But I don't know if Graves even has it in to begin with.
Both players going to go back to the drawing board here briefly. It looks like they're going to be shuffling for game number 3. But while we do wait, we will talk about Star City Games game night. Started last week on Wednesday.
It's here. It's worldwide. StarCityGames.com/game night. More information. What you see on the screen here, those are the pins and tokens that are available for the September kit. If you want to get on board in October, go and sign up right now. Every Wednesday night, stores, use your discretion, whatever format you want to run. You can sanction it. You cannot. Just get more players in your store playing every Wednesday night. So it's here, it's worldwide, and get signed up today.
Any format you want.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want. Just make sure it's on a Wednesday. Can't sign up for September anymore for obvious reasons, but if you do want to sign up for October, you can certainly get that done, or for future months as well. StarCityGames.com/game night for more information. Graves on the play. That's big for him.
Yes, it is.
That's exactly where you want to be.
The Burning Tree Emissary draws that you have on the play are incredibly difficult for Mono Black Devotion to handle. There is the one Drown in Sorrow in Reid's sideboard, but in the absence of that, it's very, very challenging to keep up.
Yeah, I think, there's a Drown in Sorrow there in the sideboard for Reid, and I don't think that if you're Graves, you're really ever going to try to play around it. It's just a one-of, and if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, that's cool too.
The only time that I think that Graves will respect it at all is if on the second turn of the game, Reid does nothing and takes a big attack. At that point, it's pretty likely that the last card in his hand is, or the one card in his hand that matters is a Drown in Sorrow. So
it's a loud, clear signal there.
He may show some discipline in that spot, but I think if it appears that Benjamin is just playing normal Magic with him, he's not going to really play around Drown in Sorrow very much. He has to give up way too many percentage points in the games where it isn't involved to do that.
Game number 3 will begin shortly here between Graves and Reid. It's been one heck of a tournament for Thomas Graves. Legacy Open champion during Season 1 when we were in Columbus. That was week 3. He got the job done with 3 Animator. Haven't seen a lot of him since, but he has been dominating this tournament. 9-0-1 through the Swiss. Destroyed his opponent in the quarterfinals, his good friend, Joseph Eckerd, playing John Planeswalkers, and he's looking to slice and dice his way here through the semifinals and get closer to a trophy.
Well, this matchup much tougher than the Jones Planewalker matchup he got through in the quarterfinals.
Well, that is certainly true. 7 cards here for Graves. A very fast keep. Very happy with what he saw. We're underway. Fire Crusader, Rakdos Cackler. It's all the same, really.
It is all the same. Just a thing.
2 power, 1 mana. That's where you want to start. It's a swamp for Reid. Pass the turn back over to Graves. Graves will draw a card. Skullcrack is what he's found. Actually, no, that's the Harness by Force. Similar artwork, very different cards.
Yep.
And you said that you like that one quite a bit on the play.
Well, I like it more on the play. I'm still not a huge fan of the card in a general sense, but
How do you like this turn, too?
it's very good. It's a good second turn.
It'd be very important for Reid to have a Bile Blight here.
Yeah. He does not. He has 2 in the board, 2 in the main, rather, 1 on the board. But
Graves with a cheese. Well, this is the I hope you don't have Drown in Sorrow draw.
Yeah.
That's all this is. There's Nash out, just coming in. Doomblade's going to take care of that. So 2, 4, 6, 8 damage. Reach down to 10.
And Graves is probably thrilled that that got hit with the Doomblade because it means that Drown Sorrow's not in his hand right now.
There's a third land. Oh, there's a Nightfell Spectre.
And that's game. I'm going to take that thing and I'm going to kill you with
Yeah,
it.
I'll take this with the Harvest by Force. Get you for exactly 10, and that is going to do it. It took 4 turns for Thomas Graves to win game number 3, but he is moving on to the finals with Rabble Red.
Turn 2 removal spell, turn 3 blocker that's bigger than anything you haven't played. Don't get to your 4th turn.
That's a disgusting draw.
It's a really, really good one. I mean, it is susceptible to a number of things. If Reid has Drown in Sorrow,
The game is over.
Graves loses.
Yep.
And this is what I talk about, skipping on the sideboard slots. Even for his Cure there, might give Reid enough time to get something going.
Yep.
But when you're just bringing a couple extra removal spells and 1 sweeper, your matchup here is not going to be good.
That's just a good old classic beating right there. I can see why you like a red deck. Makes sense to me now.
Yeah. I've been playing this sort of thing for a while, but this is a real souped-up version.
Yeah.
No 2 ways about it.
4 turns, get some lunch.
Yep.
That's all that is right there. Congratulations to Thomas Graves. He's moving on to the finals. For him, he's probably hoping that his friend Caleb Williams wins. So, friend.